Happy Friday, everybody! And on today's episode of ICYMI, we're going to teach you how to be the first ones to find out about the launch of the Samsung Galaxy S20, while the former Windows chief at Microsoft has admitted that the team was pretty surprised when the original iPad was launched. Meanwhile, the Wuhan coronavirus has now taken down Google's offices in China, and we're going to talk about the Huawei Nova 7i that's coming soon. So all of that and more on today's episode, so stay tuned for the juicy details. It's that time of the year again, and the first major smartphone launch of 2020 is set to happen soon. The launch event will be called the Galaxy Unpacked event, just like previous years, and it will happen on the 12th of February at 3 a.m. in Malaysian time. You'll be able to watch the event live on Samsung's website or on their official YouTube channel with the links in the description box below. Samsung has also opened a registration of interest section on their website for those of you who are interested to be the first to know about the S20 series. With Malaysia being a key market for the Korean company, we can expect to see the Samsung Galaxy S20 reach Malaysian shores soon. The iPad has been around for 10 years now, with the original iPad being launched in 2010. The former Windows chief at Microsoft, Sinofsky, has admitted that the team was actually pretty surprised when the original iPad was launched. Instead, the expectation was of a pen computer based on Mac, but instead, of course, the iPad was launched. So the iPad arrived, and Apple is doing all it can to strengthen the foothold that the class-leading tablet has. That's including the introduction of the Smart Keyboard connector on the 7th generation iPad, the most affordable one in the range, as well as iPadOS, the operating system that's supposed to move iPads away from a mobile OS feel and more towards a laptop replacement. At the time, Windows-based netbooks had been doing pretty well with a reported 40 million units sold. However, iPads have dominated the market ever since, with over 360 million units sold in the decade since. The rest, as they say, is history. More than 7,700 cases of the Wuhan coronavirus has already been confirmed in China, and now Google is closing down its offices in China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. The closure is a temporary one, and that falls in line with what the Chinese government is doing, which is to advise residents to stay home and to avoid travel in an attempt to contain the outbreak. Despite the fact that Google doesn't offer its web services in the Chinese market, they have maintained offices in the country due to connections with Chinese manufacturers for many of its hardware products, such as the Pixel phone and the Google Home devices. This isn't the first time that a major player in the tech industry has taken preventive action in light of the recent outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus. Facebook also restricted employee travel in the region recently, while Apple CEO Tim Cook has also announced that certain restrictions are being placed upon employee travel. Meanwhile, at least one Apple store has already been closed in China. And the fear is arguably justified, because China now has more cases of the Wuhan coronavirus than it did of SARS, a deadly infection that killed around 774 people almost 20 years ago. Huawei is set to launch a new Nova smartphone in Malaysia really soon, and the Nova 7i is set to arrive on the 14th of February 2020, Valentine's Day. So the mid-range smartphone will come with a 48 megapixel main camera, and that's set within a quad camera rear setup that will also include an ultra-wide angle and a dedicated macro lens. A key feature is supposedly a built-in video call feature aptly called Me Time, which is supposed to offer better audio and video quality from the front-facing selfie camera. You're also looking at a full HD plus 6.4-inch IPS LCD display, along with a Kirin 810 processor mated to 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. It appears that the Nova 7i will be a global version of the Nova 6 SE in China. That runs on EMUI 10.0.1, that's based off Android 10, so that could be good news. However, we all know about Huawei's issues with the US government, and that could mean that the Nova 7i could be the first Nova smartphone that's shipped without Google mobile services. So what do you guys think about the stories that we talked about today? Do let us know in the comment section below. And again, if you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a thumbs up, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. So that's all from me for today. This is Nick signing off. Bye!